Jared, it's a bye week, and due to some scheduling changes, we'll probably be able to do a pregame show every week. Um, and then we'll talk about postgame, whatever. But we'll probably do a pregame show on Sundays now. The only thing I do on Sundays, I take like a 45-minute drive to the gym, and most people wouldn't do that, but I do, because it's a
Must
good
be
gym.
really great facilities where you go.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, and it's a nice drive. It's scenic in Central PA, so.
Absolutely.
But so we'll probably do pregame shows Sundays, and then we'll probably get some traffic because it's pregame. Got some traffic on the Penn State episode last night, so go check that out.
That was awesome, dude. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that one episode this channel went up by 15 subscribers. We're almost at 500 now, so that's pretty cool. So I'm happy everybody commented. I mean, getting a lot of weird comments on the video now, people after we posted it, and oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's part of it.
Yep.
Keep it coming.
No,
Keep it coming, baby.
Any publicity is good publicity,
Yeah, and then on TikTok, when I was talking about Joe, people were, oh man, that fired people up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, people are just Austin mentioned. Oh yeah, it's on TikTok, man. Like,
wow.
Did someone just called James Franklin a bum? And then they said OHIO. The classy Ohio State fans, as always.
They're out there too.
That's the thing, man. Like, if we won yesterday, I would have come on and just been like, "Yep, that's what we're supposed to do." And I don't think a lot of Penn State fans would have been talking crap, maybe, but I feel like Penn State fans are a little different. They're not as rude, if you will, as because Ohio State fans are pretty bad. But last year, who was worse in terms of saying bad stuff to us was Michigan. Michigan was real bad. But Ohio State was, some of them were like actually pretty respectful. Like they were like, good game. And, but yeah, I don't get it, man. It's like, why are you talking crap to us? You always win.
Well, I mean, we love to voice our honest opinions, how we felt about the game. And it just came down to, we thought that it was bad officiating. We really didn't care for that part of the game. And, we thought we had the better team on paper. And that was most of the comments. Like, oh, you blame the refs. Anyone who blames them, has a loser mentality. Like, it's, again, I get the negativity because, yeah, it's not easy to pinpoint to say, well, we suck. But it's not really the case. Like, there are a lot of things that go into a game that completely ruin momentum. And officiating did put a lot of blockage on anything happening. So, and they were questionable. They were questionable things. Like, I've always been taught, like, when you catch a ball and you make motion with the ball, I thought once that guy loses the ball, I thought that was a fumble. Like, I didn't think that you needed to have like an entire trip down the field and then lose the ball, and then that's a fumble. Like, I thought as long as the rule was you have the ball is caught and he makes a motion in any way, shape, or form, and when he turned, the ball came out, and I thought we had it. And then they called it an incomplete pass. It was like, well, he secured that ball. I mean, a completed catch should be ruled as if the ball's in his hands, that should be a catch. Like, I don't think that moving with your feet with the ball should qualify as a catch. Like, and if that's the thing, like, so that's the only thing they say was an incomplete pass. When he caught the ball, he turned around and got out of his hand. So, I mean, he didn't have the ball for more than 2 seconds, but I just think that should still be a fumble when it's this and that. Those two motions should have had that happen, and it didn't. So, again, is that the ruling? Like, do you have to, like, that? What is the ruling for that?
Yeah, you have to. So the whole thing was, and we had people commenting because people are, again, they're morons and they don't know what they're talking about, and they're mishearing people don't listen. Like, people don't use their 2 ears to hear what we're saying. First of all, we weren't blaming the refs. We said they sucked, which they did. They were horrible.
They did.
But no, we said straight up, we give Ohio State credit. I said that word for word. We always give them the game. the refs are terrible. We blew it. Like, we said all of that. And with the fumble thing, like, all we were saying was that they rolled it a fumble, which means you have to have strong evidence to overturn it. And they did not have that. So they overturned it anyway. That's what we were saying. And people are like, "Oh, you're blaming the refs. Like, it's a roll. You said you don't care about the roll." And yeah, it really it honestly concerns me, because I'm surprised that the human population is that mindless. But I already kind of knew that. So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, what we were saying literally. I don't know how anyone would have taken it the wrong way, but then again, I'm not surprised. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying, Jared, what we said is true. I mean, I don't know how they overturned it. There's no reason for that. And then the taunting call as well. Like, I don't understand how. I like, if you're gonna call taunting after they had that interception at halftime, there was like 5 players dancing on the field, and I'm like, is that not taunting, or how does that work? I mean,
dude, that has to be going on every other play. It's like, if they're not calling it at that moment, I mean, then what's the point of that? Because it's not blatant. It's not like the guy spit on him. It's not like the guy like dug his heels or cleats into his helmet. I don't know. There's something about like how they got up off the field and they just thought, oh well, he's just being a little too much, or what? I don't know. It was so tick-tacky. I didn't care for it. But again, it's always the big games where it's like these questionable calls. It's just like, that killed momentum, and that continued their drive. I know they scored on that drive. I can't remember if it was a field goal or a touchdown, but points are points, man, and it can ruin your game.
Yeah, I don't totally understand where people were coming from with that, in the sense that they're like, well, you guys blaming the refs, and that was a fumble, and you guys did taunt, and it's like, all right, well, I really don't know what else to say to you. I wish you the best of luck, and that's all I really had to say. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, man, like, some of the comments I get, and it's like this one guy today, I'm not even going to talk about it, but, like, like people were talking about, they were saying how, Penn State sucks, and you guys, you said Penn State was a better team, which they are. Like, it's, we have so many 5-star guys on paper. We are better. I mean, it's and Ohio State played with a diminished offensive line. It's like, that alone right there makes us on paper better. But yeah, I mean, people are going to say what they want to say, but if you really want to lose faith in the human population, either work in retail, or which you have, Jared, or go to YouTube comments. I mean, that's where you'll really lose faith in humanity in general. So, and I pretty much lost faith in humanity a long, long time ago. So I'm already kind of past that part. But yeah, man.
And with that being said, people, just like and subscribe to this channel, please.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk common sense on here, at least.
We do. I mean, we think we do, but someone will tell us otherwise. That's what I love about it.
Oh yeah.
Here I thought
absolutely.
I was right, and someone else will gladly tell me I wasn't. So, thank you for that.
It's always funny when people are like I'll say, like, Penn State's better on person, or better on paper, and a person will say, no, they're not, and I'm like, well, I stand corrected. I mean, what do I know?
I can't argue logic with that logic. You're right.
Thank you, sir, for correcting me. Totally, I appreciate that. I mean, it's like, are you gonna change my mind? I mean, what's your goal here? But oh yeah, it's interesting. But hey, the Steelers are winning the division. They're still leading the division even with the bye, because the Ravens blew out. Who'd they blow out today?
The Broncos.
Okay. So
Both 5-3 teams. I thought, hey, the Ravens will get a challenge. They got squat. Bo Nix looked like the most incompetent quarterback because of that Ravens defense. I don't even know how much Deontay Johnson was even a factor for the Ravens. I know he's now acquired for the Ravens. Did you know that? Deontay Johnson is now Raven. Yep. So wonderful. It's nice to know that they've got the insight on us when we play them. He'll give them all of our secrets, know exactly where to put us and where to put them. You know, he'll be able to tell them all about how bad we can be. So it's great to know that he is a part of the enemy, and it's not going to be a fun game at all when we play the Ravens. But as far as the week or the midseason goes, 6-2 is exactly where I thought the Steelers were going to be at this point. Dude, I don't know if I told you my preseason predictions, but I did have the Steelers winning this division, and I also had them going all the way to the AFC Championship. I did make this bold prediction.
I think you said that, yeah.
Yeah,
we went through that schedule.
So I know that we definitely had our predictions at the beginning of the year, and I know I said that we could go as far as the AFC Championship. Now, that, again, was against the Texans, so I don't know if that's going to be true anymore with Stephon Diggs out. They don't look that consistent anymore, so it's still a long season. You never know how teams respond. And, again, as far as our team is concerned, I think they've responded absolutely fantastic. I knew that they were going to be around 6-2, 7-1 with the easy half of the schedule. The only losses I think I had them to were the Colts. I think that was the only team I had them losing against. And again, there's something about Indianapolis they just can't win in. And it naturally had to be against Joe Burrow. And then the devastating loss against the Cowboys, that was such a soul-crushing night. Like, one play after another was just tougher and tougher to get through. And the last play of the game, I'll never forget it. It was rough. It was just so bad. 4th and goal, just had to stop him one time. Dak Prescott went back, and you saw him with I want to say who it was, the guy. I don't think it was CeeDee Lamb. I know it was another one of his receivers. But Deshaun Elliott had the dude covered perfectly. But it was a perfect throw by Dak. He brought him down. He should have been able to strip him out of it, and he never let go. And it was just like he did everything he possibly could to win that game, and it just went the other way. But the fact is, you have teams like Vegas, you have teams like New York, and they're kind of abysmal. They don't have consistent stuff. They have good things here and there. Like the Raiders, I think, have a good amount of weapons, but they don't have a whole lot of consistency on either one of their lines. New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers is a shell of his former self, but they have a good defense. And New York Giants, dude, they have good pieces. They have one of the better, what's the word? They have one of the better surprising factors, or what's the word? Like, the defensive line has been pretty good. Like, I've been impressed with how they've been handling themselves in their games. And they stayed with us the whole game. So it wasn't like we could blow anybody out, because everything that is good for them, like in terms of the Giants' line, in terms of the Jets' line, they kept up. But the only thing that was good was the New York Jets win. Like, that was pretty impressive. So other than that, we've kept everything close. We played down to the Giants like I knew we would. And I was like, please don't do it. And I think we went into the half 9-9. Like, all field goals, no touchdowns, like, great. And I think, if anything, what we have to be impressed with, dude, is we have one of the better scoring differentials. Like, I think how many points we've scored to how much we've given up is a pretty good factor. But again, that's all with the emergence of Najee and Russ. Najee Harris has looked as sensational as a running back as I could have asked. I have never seen this version of Najee Harris in all the 3 or 4 years he has been a Steeler, and he's looked so efficient, a fantastic run. And then, of course, Russell Wilson having pretty much the comeback player of the year stature that he has with these 2 games. Like, he has done everything right with everything he's been given. So George Pickens and company, Darnell Washington has now become an elite tight end because he just knows how to find the dude. Because again, when you're that big, there's no reason why you shouldn't be targeted every other play. Because who's going to stop that? 6'7", 265 pounds that can run? Like, man, that's unfair. But,
Mhm.
you know, with the injuries too, like that's the great thing about bye weeks because, you know, guys like Zach Frazier and Peyton Wilson, Mason McCormick, I know we're getting at some point. I mean, that'll help the offensive line a lot. So going into the second half, 6-2, getting guys healthy. And again, everything really has been clicking for the offense correctly. It's just now a question, can the defense get better with the run game? That's our run defense, dude, has been pretty suspect. Like the Giants ran 145 yards on us. That ain't good, dude. And I'm not saying that Tracy Jr. is not a good running back, but dude, the Giants weren't known for that. So it's like the fact that you gave up 145 rushing yards to that, I mean, that right there spells a lot of like, hopefully when we get back, that's one of the things we take care of. Because when we face the Commanders, dude, this next Sunday, that's a good running back. If I'm Ryan Robinson, is that who it is? And Austin Eckler. I know Austin Eckler is a Commander now too. So they've got a good tangent of running backs, dude. So if they cannot contain that, it's going to be a longer game than what we hope to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I still call them the Redskins, Jared. It's okay. You can call them the Redskins on this podcast.
Okay.
And it's funny because they're trying to get the name back.